Hi everyone, Ula here. In today's video, I want to talk to you about how to choose a compatible partner. And if you tend to get into relationships with partners that make you question yourself, that make you feel like you're not good enough, who make you feel abandoned, and you're always seeking validation from them, and in the end of the relationship, they ghost you, they block you, it's almost like you've turned into strangers overnight, then it sounds like you are 100% attracting the wrong kind of partner. And what sounds very likely to me as well is that you are anxiously attached and you are attracting avoidance into your life. So before I tell you how to overcome this, first I want to start with explaining how does this happen in the first place. So if you are anxiously attached, it means that when you're looking for a partner, when you're out dating, all the signals that you're interpreting as love are actually what your attachment system is doing to try and ground you into an attachment figure. So if you don't have a current attachment figure, usually that is our partner. When we're children, it can be our parents. It can even be our pets or our children. But if you don't have an attachment figure and you're anxiously attached, you will be seeking to gain a connection with someone and form that attachment figure as soon as possible, as quickly as possible. But it's completely unconscious. So your brain is really doing a very good job at making you feel that you are becoming close to people and make you want to become close to people. And often when you meet with an avoidant, their signals can be very inconsistent, and that inconsistency gives a signal to our brain that there's a risk here, that maybe there's a distance in the relationship, and it pushes you to close that connection. So that connection may be, if they're not replying quickly enough, send them another message, send them another one, call them, leave them a voicemail, send them another message. Or it could be even show up to their work, maybe prepare a nice date for them even though they didn't ask for it, or all these kinds of things which will allow you to, in your mind, close the connection. The problem is that this will actually get activated very often with avoidant partners, but the anxious person will associate this with love because it feels like what we're told, butterflies, all the emotional intensity, all that passion and almost an addiction, that this is love. But it's not love. This is your attachment system. And when we associate that with love, we go head over heels for the person that is going to trigger us so badly, that's going to really trigger you, but also we're going to trigger them, because anxious people are like kryptonite to the avoidance. All the things that anxious people need are the things that avoidant people just can't give, because that will trigger them as well. So these relationships are destined to fail from the beginning. But the problem is that avoidant people keep getting themselves into these situations. So now that we understand how it happens, how do we break it? Well, the first step is, of course, awareness. Once you're aware of how your attachment system works, and once you're aware that this connection is not love, that this emotional roller coaster, that the butterflies, that the intensity, that the crazy overthinking and obsession, that is not love, you can begin to look at things with a different lens. But often doing that alone can be very challenging because it feels so real. And you can't deny that there's a feeling there, that something's happening in your body. So even if you consciously know that that's not love, it's really hard to deny that to yourself. So if you're having problems with this, you need to take it one step further, and we need to really heal the part that is causing this intense addiction, this obsession, this attraction to the people that are just completely wrong for you. So the way that we do that is really by exploring the beliefs that are causing you to chase these people. And sometimes this can be a little bit harder to figure out, but all you really need to do on the most basic level is look at the beliefs. So when you are in a relationship with someone who's avoidant, what are the constant themes that are going on in your head? So it could be even in an early dating phase, you've very early put this person on a pedestal much higher than yourself, and you really idolize this person, and you just think, they're so amazing. If I'm with them, that means that I must be worth something, because alone I am worthless. I don't matter at all. But if I'm with this person and they love me, then I must be worth something. So look at whatever that belief is that's coming through. That's just one example. But let's take that one. So if that's the belief that if this person loves me, then I must be worthy. And if they don't, then I'm worthless. So look at that belief and just go back and think, well, when was the first time that I felt that way? When's an earlier time than now? And keep going back and back and back until you find where that belief really originated from. Usually it's from childhood. Sometimes it's from an earlier relationship that could have been very traumatic. But that belief had to begin somewhere. And sometimes it can be a little bit surprising exactly where it comes from. But unless we go back and explore that, you're going to continue to perpetuate the same experiences and the same emotions and beliefs into your future relationships. Because the way you're feeling now, it didn't start here. It didn't start with this person. It didn't start with the person before or the person before that. It started way, way back. And most likely, for most people, it's a feeling that they've had since childhood or since their teen years. And if you're not addressing what happened back then, you're pulling all of those emotions, all that pain into these future relationships. And that's causing you to form these beliefs and really uphold these beliefs that I don't matter if I'm not with this amazing person, then I'm just not lovable, I'm not worthy of anything. And this can really be perpetuated throughout your whole life if you don't do anything about it. But if you do address it, you can really reframe this for yourself. So if you've gone back and it is from a childhood experience or something that might have happened repeatedly in childhood, you can say, well, in that situation, it was possible that maybe my parent didn't give me the love that I deserved, that they weren't capable of doing that. And that made me feel that I wasn't worthy of love. Because when I was a little kid, there really was no one else to love me. There was just me and my parents. So if they didn't do a good enough job, then I just wasn't worthy enough. But when you look at it from an adult's perspective, it's actually not your fault that your parents didn't do a good enough job with you. And it's got nothing to do with you being not lovable or being not worthy. All it has to do with is your parents were just incapable. They didn't have the tools, the resources to give you what you needed. And that's really sad. And it can cause a lot of problems, but that doesn't mean you're not worthy of love. It doesn't mean that you don't deserve to be loved. And it especially doesn't mean that there isn't someone out there who will love you in the right way, in the way you deserve. It's all about reframing the thinking. So once you're able to identify where these beliefs come from, reframe that belief, release all those painful emotions, and it's okay to cry. It's okay to let it out. It's been bottled up there for so long, and releasing that pain will allow you to really not bring that pain forward into the current and the future relationships. But especially releasing all those beliefs will allow you to come into a relationship and think, I do deserve someone who's going to treat me the right way. There is someone out there who's going to love me for me, and I am worthy of that love. I do deserve a partner who's going to treat me well, meet my needs, give me what I want, and I can give them what I have, what they want. Believing that a healthy, secure, loving relationship is available for you. And then really knowing what it is that you want and need in that relationship. Because often, if you're anxiously attached, you have a really hard time communicating what it is that you actually want. So once you release all those expectations and all those painful beliefs, you will actually understand what it is that you want and what you need in a relationship. So if someone comes along and let's say their compatibility is a 5 out of 10, you won't just try to force it to work with that person because they're the only person available in the whole world that might ever love you. You'll recognize that, well, there were some nice things about that person, but I don't think we were really compatible in the end. It probably wouldn't have worked out in the long run. So, that's okay to cut it off and just say, I don't think we're right for each other. And you'll really save yourself a lot of pain and a lot of hurt. Think of all of the relationships that you could have cut off early if you recognized that they weren't right for you. And probably you did. Somewhere deep down you recognized this probably isn't going to work out, but you tried to make it work anyway. So just imagine all the pain that will continue if you don't address this. All those additional relationships that you're going to push yourself into, try to make them work, and try to salvage them when you were never right for each other. And it's going to happen again and again and again until you address this, until you let go of the part of you that feels you need to make it work with a partner that's not really the right person for you. But once you do address it, you save yourself so much pain and you get so much future time back from yourself. Imagine having another 5 or 10 years wasted on these incompatible relationships that you could save yourself from right now just by really addressing this problem, these beliefs that are causing you to feel this way. So I hope you liked this video. I hope you found this interesting and I hope you found it helpful. If you have any questions, feel free to pop them in the comments. Also feel free to send me a message. I hope you really enjoyed this and please share it with someone if you think it will help them. And otherwise, I look forward to seeing you in the next video.